A wealthy billionaire lives behind walls of arrogance and deep-seated bias, shaped by a lifetime of privilege that taught him money is power, and power excuses everything. Surrounded by luxury, control, and silence, he believes empathy is a weakness meant for people beneath him. His success has insulated him from consequences, allowing his prejudices to grow unchecked, reinforced by a world that never challenges him. To him, people are transactions, and emotions are liabilities. But everything begins to crack the moment he crosses paths with one woman he never expected to notice, let alone respect. She doesn't bow to his wealth, doesn't fear his status, and refuses to accept the invisible lines he has drawn between himself and others. Her intelligence unsettles him, her dignity disarms him, and her refusal to be intimidated forces him to confront something he has avoided his entire life: himself. For the first time, his money cannot buy distance, silence, or superiority. Her presence becomes a mirror, reflecting the emptiness behind his success and the loneliness behind his pride. Each interaction chips away at the armor he built from hate and entitlement, replacing it with uncomfortable questions he can no longer ignore. What begins as resistance turns into curiosity, then regret. Slowly, the man who believed he was untouchable learns that true power isn't control or wealth. It's humility, growth, and the courage to unlearn hate. And in that transformation, love becomes the force that changes everything. Through resilience, grace, and quiet strength, she confronts his prejudice without raising her voice or seeking revenge. She does not argue to win, nor does she beg to be understood. Instead, she stands firm in her dignity, allowing her actions, words, and self-respect to speak louder than anger ever could. Where others might lash out, she responds with calm clarity, unshaken, unbroken, and unapologetically herself. Her strength confuses him. He is used to fear, obedience, or confrontation, but she offers none of it. She refuses to accept the labels he places on her, refusing to shrink under the weight of his assumptions. Each time he expects resentment, she gives honesty. Each time he expects silence, she speaks truth. Slowly, the foundations of his prejudice begin to crack. Without realizing it, he is forced to sit with the discomfort of his own beliefs. Her presence exposes the emptiness behind his hatred and the isolation it has created. For the first time, he feels the cost of his arrogance, not in money or reputation, but in human connection. The loneliness he buried beneath power rises to the surface, undeniable and raw. She never tries to change him directly. That is the irony. By simply existing with integrity and strength, she becomes the catalyst for his awakening. And in the space between his shame and her grace, he begins to understand a painful truth. Hate did not protect him. It imprisoned him. What begins as discomfort slowly evolves into self-awareness, the kind that cannot be ignored or escaped. At first, he resists it, defending old beliefs, clinging to familiar prejudices that once made him feel powerful. But the cracks have already formed. Each conversation, each moment of quiet reflection forces him to confront truths he spent a lifetime avoiding. For the first time, he questions not the world, but himself. That self-awareness becomes transformation. He starts listening instead of assuming, learning instead of judging. The arrogance that once defined him fades as humility takes its place. He recognizes how ignorance shaped his past, how fear disguised itself as superiority, and how hatred robbed him of genuine connection. The weight of that realization is heavy, but freeing. Real love does not arrive as a dramatic rescue or sudden miracle. It comes through patience, accountability, and the courage to change. Love challenges him, holds him responsible, and demands growth. It does not erase his past, but it gives him the chance to rise beyond it. In choosing love, he chooses to become better. As his heart opens, the loneliness that once ruled his life begins to loosen its grip. He discovers that happiness isn't found in wealth or control, but in understanding, respect, and shared humanity. A heart once broken by hate is reshaped by compassion, pointing him toward a future he never imagined, a future where love doesn't just change his ending but redeems his entire story.